So what was your inspiration behind the collection? Could you give us a few words on that?
Yeah, I think the inspiration really was to try to pull on everything that I put into my jewellery and sort of filter that through into something that felt that I could capture some romance in it, because that's really what it's all about. And I think a lot of the things that I can perhaps just go off and do when I'm designing a collection that's worn like in a more fashionable way, which is really what we're known for. You've got to kind of rein it in a bit. You've got to rein it in, but the people who come to Stephen Webster, they're not just shopping saying, well, there's a round diamond over there and a round diamond over there, we're coming to you for a round diamond. They will come for us for a bit of what we offer. And so you've got to make sure that within the sort of, like I say, the constraints of the fact that this is a ring that's worn every day. It's not just worn in a fashionable moment, it's worn every day. You've got to keep all that in mind, but at the same time, I've got to put a bit of my personality into it. Otherwise, it just becomes a generic product, and I hope that none of what we've got could be considered generic.
So can you tell us why you chose Forevermark diamonds to feature in this first bridal collection of yours?
I chose Forevermark because I'm kind of always looking for a good story within our industry. I've recently been to Peru with Fair Trade, which is about gold, fair trade gold, and gold, like diamonds, is something I've pretty much worked with my whole life. And I think if there's the potential for something to become, very transparent, a very kind of, something you can stand by and say this has been brought to the market in an ethical way, I think that really resonates with people now. And so I've sort of taken it on board myself to be part of that, to be part of what's going on. And a Forevermark diamond is probably to date the most sort of transparent diamond from mine to market. And I think these things are important to me. And it's not like every client comes in and they certainly won't at the moment going, where's your Forevermark diamonds? They might be doing that. But I think that once people know that there are alternatives, this is really when it starts to make a difference, So something like this, certainly in the UK, we're the first people with it. It's early days, but I would sort of guarantee that within a few years, it becomes more of a normality. And I'm sort of, proud to be part of the early days. I never look at these things cynically. I'm always looking for the good story.
Great. And what about any top tips that you've got for brides when choosing their own special jewellery for their own special day?
I just think it's a funny thing really, because when people get surprised, generally everything falls away other than this sort of surprise, this sort of like, will you marry me? And this ring is all part of it. Sometimes later they think, oh, I wish I had a bigger one or whatever, but really at that moment, it's about that. I suppose if you're going to choose it together, which is probably 50-50, there's like 50% people know what they're going to get and they choose it together. I think women they don't need to be told. They've got an instinct. They know exactly what it is they like. They know what colour they're looking for in a metal. If they want their diamond round, it's sort of inherent. They kind of know these things. And I've been in the jewellery business for 36 years, and I've never yet met a woman that's sort of, oh, I don't know what to do. They kind of know what to do. So I don't think they need me to tell them. I can give them sort of guidance, but that's about it.
And very, very finally, was there a particular woman that you had in mind when you designed the new bridal collection?
Not really. I know that there's probably a school of thought that I should say that should be my wife, and in some ways it is. But I think it's probably more about a collection, if you like, of all of the women that I've dealt with, which covers much more ground than I think some people might think. I'm sure that people think we're quite specific and our woman looks like this, but they don't. They come in all shapes and sizes, all ethnic backgrounds, and I think somehow you've got to try and capture the spirit of a woman and the occasion. I think this is the thing about bridal. It's a celebration of an occasion and a commitment, and that's quite inspiring.